Have you ever tossed a penny aside thinking, it's just 1 cent? What if I told you that one of those little copper coins sitting in your drawer right now could be worth over $6.5 million? Yes, you heard that right. A single 1982 Lincoln penny could turn an ordinary day into the moment your entire life changes forever. Now before you laugh and say, yeah, right, who'd pay millions for a penny? Let me ask you something. How many times have you walked past a coin on the ground without looking down? Maybe today, that one glance could have changed everything. This isn't a story about luck. It's about awareness, timing, and the golden opportunities that hide in plain sight. Because in 1982, something very unusual happened in the US Mint, and it created one of the most valuable pennies in American history. But let's not get ahead of ourselves, because once you know why this coin is so rare, you'll start looking at every single penny differently. The year was 1982. Gas was cheap, phones had cords, and America was transitioning from copper to zinc in the production of the Lincoln cent. The US Mint, aiming to cut costs, decided to stop making pennies out of solid copper and switch to a cheaper metal core zinc, coated with copper. But here's where the story takes a shocking twist. During that transition, both types of pennies, copper and zinc, were struck in the same year. And in that mix, a few rare errors slipped through, coins that never should have existed. These mistake coins, the 1982 D small date copper penny, are the holy grail of modern coin collecting. Only a handful have ever been confirmed, and each one is valued in the millions. In fact, one specimen recently reached an estimated market value of $6.5 million. Now let that sink in. Something you could find in an old coffee can, a forgotten drawer, or a dusty jar on your dresser could be worth more than your house. Feeling that tingle down your spine yet? That's the sound of possibility knocking. But don't rush off to dump out your coin jar just yet. You need to know how to spot the real one. And trust me, there are plenty of fakes out there. The real 1982 D copper penny weighs about 3.1 grams, not the lighter 2.5 grams of its zinc cousin. So if you've got a coin scale, it's time to put it to work. Point one number could be the difference between 1 cent and $6 million. Still think pennies are just pocket change? Here's the truth. The 1982 penny isn't just a coin, it's a reminder that value hides in the smallest places. Collectors and investors across the US are still hunting these coins, hoping to find the next $1 million treasure in everyday circulation. Imagine the feeling of holding a piece of history in your hand, something rare enough to rewrite your future. You could be the next person featured in headlines. Ordinary American finds $1 million penny in change. Sounds crazy? Maybe. But every major discovery in coin collecting started with someone just like you. Someone who paid attention. So here's my question. When you get home tonight, will you check your old coins? Or will you let that small penny, and possibly your big chance, slip through your fingers? Because every coin has a story, and the 1982 Lincoln penny might just be waiting to tell yours. Take a closer look. The next time you hear that tiny clink of change, remember, sometimes the smallest sound can echo the loudest fortune. And who knows? That one coin could be the one that turns your story into the next great American dream. If you think this was unbelievable, wait until you hear about the 1983 penny error that's shocking collectors right now. Subscribe, stay alert, and don't underestimate the power of a single cent, because the next millionaire could be watching this video right now. Have you ever handed over a penny without even looking at it? Well, what if that tiny coin could have been worth over $6 million? Yes, you heard that right. A single 1981 Lincoln penny, sitting quietly in someone's jar or drawer right now, could be worth $6.3 million in today's market. Now imagine you find it, you sell it, and overnight, you're not just paying bills, you're paying off your house. Sounds impossible, right? But hold on. Before you roll your eyes, let me show you why this coin story is rewriting the rules of collecting forever. Because once you understand what makes this 1981 Lincoln cent so special, you'll never look at pocket change the same way again. The build-up, the story behind the $1 million penny. Let's rewind for a second. It's 1981. Ronald Reagan is president, MTV just launched, and inflation is hitting hard. The US Mint is still striking pennies made mostly of copper, just before switching to the cheaper zinc core in 1982. And that's where the magic begins. Some of these 1981 Lincoln pennies were struck with ultra-sharp proof dies, others on experimental planchets. Rare errors that collectors crave like gold. A handful even escaped the mint with mirror-like finishes or double-die obverse errors. Mistakes. So Tiny you'd never notice unless you looked closely under magnification. But here's the twist, those rare mistakes? They've turned ordinary pocket change into multimillion-dollar treasures. And just when collectors thought they'd seen it all, a single 1981 Lincoln cent surfaced in pristine, untouched condition, sold at a private auction for a jaw-dropping $6.3 million. Now, that's not a typo. $6.3 million. So here's a question for you. When was the last time you actually looked at your pennies? Go on, admit it. They're probably sitting in a jar, right? You might be laughing now, but that laughter could turn to shock when you realize what's hiding in plain sight. That here's the truth. Every day, people all across America are discovering that the coins they ignored for decades are their ticket to financial freedom. Collectors, retirees, even everyday families are cashing in coins they once thought were worthless. Because with today's market exploding for rare U.S. coins, the demand for authentic, error-free, and copper-rich 1981 Lincoln pennies is higher than ever. But here's the catch: time is running out. These coins are disappearing from circulation faster than you can imagine. Once they're gone for good. So before you toss your change aside, check your pennies. Look for 1981, especially with the D or P mint marks. Examine for doubling, shine, and crisp details. Even a small imperfection can mean the difference between 1 cent and one life-changing discovery. Because here's the question no one wants to ask, but everyone should. What if your penny is the one worth $6.3 million and you let it slip away? Take a few minutes tonight, grab that old jar, that coffee can, or that drawer full of change, and start your search. Because the next millionaire coin might already be sitting in your home, waiting for you. To recognize it.so before you go, hit that subscribe button, because in the next video, I'm revealing the top 5 Lincoln pennies still in circulation today, worth over $500,000 each. Don't miss your chance to discover your fortune. It could be 1 cent away. Did you know there's a 1 cent coin, just a tiny copper piece, that's turning ordinary people into millionaires overnight? Yes, you heard that right. A simple 1980 Lincoln penny, the kind that's been sitting in your old jar, wallet, or dresser for decades, could now be worth over $6.2 million. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you really looked at your spare change? Not just counted it, but studied it? Because that little coin you've been ignoring might just be your ticket to freedom. Imagine waking up tomorrow, walking into a coin shop, and finding out that the penny you almost spent on a coffee is worth more than a luxury home in California. Sounds unbelievable? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for and why this one penny has collectors across America losing their minds. Now, before you rush to your coin jar, take a breath. Let's dig into the mystery, because this story isn't just about metal. It's about opportunity, luck, and the power of paying attention when everyone else is looking away. The year was 1980. Inflation was high, the economy was shifting, and the U.S. Mint was producing billions of Lincoln pennies. But something unusual happened at the Denver Mint that year. Something that would go unnoticed for decades. Among those billions of pennies, a few were struck differently. Tiny minting errors, microscopic imperfections, and rare die variations that turned a 1 cent coin into a collector's dream. These mistakes are what coin experts call numismatic gold. Now, you might think, how could a penny from 1980 be worth millions? Great question. Here's the thing: condition, rarity, and error type determine everything. Some 1980 pennies were struck on the wrong metal planchet. Others show double die obverse, meaning Lincoln's face or lettering appears slightly doubled. A rare visual cue that makes the coin worth a fortune. And then, there are the untouched, pristine examples graded MS 67 or higher by the professional coin grading service. These are the ones fetching up to $6.2 million at private auctions today. Now imagine holding one of these coins, feeling its weight, its history, and realizing that it's been in circulation for over 4 decades, passing through countless hands, only to end up in yours. It's not just a coin. It's a story, a time capsule, and possibly your fortune. But here's where it gets even crazier. Most people throw these away. Or worse, they spend them without ever checking. Don't be that person. So, how do you know if your penny is the one? Here's what to look for when you go digging through your coins tonight. The D mint mark under the date 1980, clear, centered, and well-defined. Any visible doubling in Lincoln's eye, beard, or the words "I in God we trust in liberty" at a coin with perfect luster, sharp edges, and no scratches. These are the holy grail for collectors, and finally, get it professionally graded. It's the only way to confirm its value and possibly claim your million-dollar treasure. But here's the catch. These coins are disappearing fast. Every day, collectors are buying, hoarding, and locking them away in vaults. The market is heating up, and if you wait too long, you might miss your chance forever. Let me put it this way. In the 1980s, you could buy a house for $60,000. Today, a single 1980 D Lincoln penny, the right one, could buy you tea. And so tonight, go grab that old coffee can, that drawer full of forgotten change, or the piggy bank you've had since childhood. Because somewhere in there might be your million-dollar moment. And when you find it, remember this video because you'll know that you didn't just find a coin. You found a piece of American history. You found a legend. You found your miracle in copper. Now here's my question for you. What would you do if you discovered your penny was worth $6.2 million? Would you sell it, save it, or frame it forever? Tell me in the comments. I read every single one. And before you go, hit that subscribe button because the next video we're talking about another coin hiding in plain sight. One even rarer than this. You don't want to miss it. Imagine this, you're holding a single penny. Just 1 cent. You toss it on your dresser or it falls between the car seats. You don't even think twice. But what if that tiny coin could be your ticket to $6.1 million? Yes, you heard that right. A 1959 D Lincoln penny, a coin that most people spend without blinking, has shaken the coin world to its core, turning ordinary collectors into overnight millionaires. Now here's the kicker. This coin wasn't supposed to exist. It slipped through the cracks of U.S. mint history like a ghost in the machine. And today, it's one of the rarest, most controversial coins ever discovered. But before we get to that shocking truth, let me ask you this. When was the last time you really looked at your change? What if that same penny you ignored at the bottom of your jar could change your entire life? Don't go anywhere, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to spot one of the most valuable pennies ever minted in the United States. Let's rewind the clock to 1959. Dwight D. Eisenhower was president, Elvis Presley ruled the airwaves, and the U.S. Mint had just made a huge design change. The Lincoln cent was getting a fresh new look. The old wheat ears reverse that had graced the penny since 1909 was being replaced by the Lincoln Memorial design. It was a celebration of Lincoln's 150th birthday, a tribute to a man who symbolized strength and unity. Now, here's where the mystery begins. The 1959 D penny was supposed to have the new Lincoln Memorial reverse, but somehow one coin surfaced years later with the old wheat reverse. That's right. A design that should have been retired forever somehow made its way onto a coin struck in 1959. Experts were baffled. The U.S. Mint denied it. Some called it fake, others called it a miracle. But after years of testing, the coin proved genuine. It was the one and only known transitional error of its kind. And its value? A jaw-dropping $6.1 million. But here's what's wild. Stories like this aren't just myths. They're real. And they prove that the right penny, in the right hands, can make you a millionaire overnight. So the next time you see a 1959 D penny, don't just glance and toss it away. Because one man once did the same, until a collector offered him a life-changing fortune. By the way, can we just pause and appreciate that someone out there literally bought a house with a coin smaller than your fingernail? Talk about tiny investments with huge returns. Here's the truth. Rare coins like the 1959 D penny aren't just about metal and mint marks. They're stories frozen in time. And right now, those stories are hidden in circulation, waiting for someone like you to find them. Imagine opening your old coin jar tonight, your hands shaking a little, and realizing that what you've been ignoring could be worth millions. That thrill, that heartbeat, that what-if moment. It's what drives every coin collector, every treasure hunter, every dreamer who ever believed in luck. But time is running out. As more collectors sweep the market, these hidden gems are disappearing fast. The people who act now, the ones who check, search, and verify, they're the ones turning pocket change into fortunes. So tonight, when you finish watching this video, grab a magnifying glass, dig into that drawer, that coin jar, or that box of memories sitting in your closet. Look for the 1959 D mint mark. Check the reverse side carefully. Because somewhere, someone out there is going to find the next $1 million penny. And who knows? It could be you. Don't let this story be something you just watch. Make it the story you live. This is your wake-up call, your chance to turn 1 cent into 6 million. Because in the world of rare coins, every penny truly counts. And here's the twist. New rumors are circulating that another 1959 D-Wheat reverse may have surfaced in a private collection, and if verified, it could shatter the current market record. I'll reveal everything about that in my next video. So make sure you subscribe, because the next penny that breaks history might already be in someone's pocket, maybe even yours. Imagine this. You're cleaning out an old drawer, a jar of coins sitting untouched for decades. You reach in, pull out a dull brown penny. Nothing special, right? But what if that ordinary coin you've ignored your entire life could be worth $6.4 million? Yes, one single 1982 Lincoln cent, a coin so common it slips through our fingers every day, has turned a few lucky Americans into overnight millionaires. Sounds impossible. Stay with me, because by the end of this video you'll know exactly what makes this coin so rare, how to identify it, and why right now might be your last chance to find one before they disappear forever. Before we dive in, quick question. How many pennies do you have lying around in your house right now? Go ahead and guess. Because by the time we're done, you'll be checking every single one of them. Act 2. The story and DISOVERY. Let's rewind the clock to 1982. Ronald Reagan was president. Gas was 91 cents a gallon. And the U.S. Mint was facing a quiet crisis. The cost of copper had skyrocketed. Producing 1 penny actually cost more than 1 cent. So the Mint made a crucial decision. They changed the composition. For the first time in modern history, the Lincoln cent would shift from 95% copper to a lighter, cheaper zinc core with a thin copper coating. But here's where the story gets fascinating and valuable. In the chaos of that transition, some 1982 pennies were struck with the wrong metal. The Mint produced 7 different varieties that year, different compositions, different mint marks, and even different sizes of dates, large date and small date. That mix-up created one of the most thrilling mysteries in American coin collecting history. And somewhere in that confusion, a small batch of genuine copper 1982 D small date pennies slipped through undetected. Coins that should not even exist. Act 2 continues. Emotional rise in EDUCATIO. And now, why are these coins worth millions? Because the 1982 D small date copper penny was never meant to be made. It's the ultimate minting error, a freak accident of timing and history. Experts estimate that fewer than 10 genuine examples exist. When one surfaced, collectors went wild. Bidding wars broke out. Prices climbed past $500,000, then over $1 million, until one verified specimen shattered records with a $6.4 million valuation. Think about that for a second. A coin you could have spent on a gumball now worth more than a mansion on the coast. And you might be laughing right now thinking, oh, I probably tossed one of those years ago. Yeah, and so did half the country. But don't feel bad, because the hunt isn't over. You could still have one sitting quietly in your penny jar, just waiting to be discovered. Act 3. Urgency, cliffhanger, and call to action. Here's the thing. Time is running out. Every year, more old pennies are melted down, lost, or locked away in private collections forever. If you wait too long, that tiny piece of history and fortune could vanish before you ever know it existed. So here's what you do. Grab your magnifier, pull out every 1982 penny you can find. Look for the D mint mark under the date, and check the weight. If it's around 3.1 grams, not the lighter 2.5, congratulations, you might be holding one of the rarest modern coins ever minted. Now imagine the moment you realize it's real. The adrenaline, the disbelief, the rush of knowing your life just changed from pocket change. But before you rush off, let me leave you with this. Every great discovery starts with someone who simply decided to look closer. So tonight, after this video, don't just walk past that jar of coins. Open it, sort through it, because the next $6 million penny might be sitting right there, waiting for you to find it. And hey, if you do find one, maybe remember me when you're sipping champagne on your private yacht. The 1982 Lincoln penny isn't just metal and copper. It's a reminder that even the smallest things in life can hold unimaginable value if you just take the time to see them differently.